Imagine this. It's the 1860s. America is tearing itself apart. Brother against brother, state against state. The Civil War has begun. But amidst the chaos, the cannon fire, and the heartbreak, a love story unfolds that defies all odds. This is the story of two people from opposite sides of the conflict, their love caught in the crossfire of a nation at war. Let's travel back to a quiet town in the border state of Kentucky. Here, we meet Eleanor Vance, the daughter of a staunch Unionist merchant. Eleanor is spirited, intelligent, and deeply believes in the cause of preserving the United States. She spends her days rolling bandages for Union soldiers and writing letters filled with patriotic fire. She sees the Confederacy as a rebellion that threatens the very soul of the nation her father helped build. One sun-drenched afternoon, while visiting a neighboring farm, she meets Captain James Forrester. James is a visitor from Virginia, a charismatic and honorable man who commands a company in the Confederate Army. He's home on a brief leave, his gray uniform a stark symbol of everything Eleanor opposes. But when their eyes meet, politics seem to melt away. They talk for hours, not about the war, but about poetry, about their dreams for the future, about the shared humanity that war so often eclipses. For both of them, it's an immediate and profound connection. James is captivated by Eleanor's sharp mind and passionate spirit. Eleanor finds herself drawn to his gentle nature and the quiet strength in his eyes. They know it's madness. A Yankee girl and a rebel soldier? Their families would be horrified. Their friends would call it treason. Society would condemn them. Yet, they can't deny the powerful pull they feel. They begin to meet in secret. Their stolen moments become a sanctuary from the brutal reality of the war. They meet in moonlit apple orchards and secluded forest clearings, their whispered conversations a fragile peace in a world of violence. James tells her of the horrors he's witnessed on the battlefield, the loss of friends, the gnawing doubt that sometimes creeps in. Eleanor shares her fears for her country, her anxieties about her own brothers fighting in the Union Army. In these moments, they aren't a Unionist and a Confederate. They are just Eleanor and James, two souls who found each other in the most unlikely of times. They fall deeply, hopelessly in love. But the war is a constant, looming shadow. Every secret meeting could be their last. James knows his leave will end, and he'll have to return to the front lines, possibly to fight against Eleanor's own kin. Their love is a dangerous secret. A misplaced letter, a single witness, could bring ruin upon them both. Eleanor's father, a man who has lost business and friends for his loyalty to the Union, would disown her. James could be accused of being a spy, facing a firing squad. The stakes couldn't be higher. This forbidden love forces them to question everything they thought they knew. For Eleanor, loving James means seeing the humanity in the enemy. She starts to understand that the soldiers in gray aren't just faceless rebels. They are men with families, with fears, with their own beliefs, however misguided she feels they are. For James, Eleanor's unwavering belief in a united nation challenges his own loyalties. He fights for his home, for Virginia, but he begins to wonder if there's a different path to peace, a future where he and Eleanor can be together. Their story is a microcosm of the war itself, a conflict of loyalty, ideology, and heart. Can love truly conquer all, even a civil war? As James's leave shortens, they face an impossible choice. Should he desert his post, betraying his home and his men for a life with Eleanor? Should she abandon her family and her principles to follow him into the heart of the Confederacy? Or is their love doomed from the start, destined to be just another casualty of this tragic war? The day of James's departure arrives like a death sentence. Their final secret meeting is filled with a desperate sadness. They make a promise, a vow whispered against the backdrop of a coming storm. They promise to find each other again when the war is over. No matter what happens, no matter who wins or loses, they will find their way back to each other. It's a fragile hope, a tiny flicker of light in an overwhelming darkness. James returns to the Confederate Army, and Eleanor is left behind in Kentucky. The only connection they have is a secret network of correspondence, letters smuggled across enemy lines by sympathetic friends. These letters are their lifeline. They are filled with longing, with fear, but also with an unshakable love. Eleanor reads and rereads James's words, his descriptions of camp life, his weariness with the fighting, his constant declarations of love for her. James carries Eleanor's letters in his coat pocket, their ink-stained pages a talisman against the brutality of battle. Months turn into years. The war rages on, more brutal than anyone could have imagined. Battles like Antietam, Gettysburg and Vicksburg leave a trail of devastation across the land. Every time Eleanor reads the casualty lists in the newspaper, her heart stops, terrified she will see James's name. Every time James marches into battle, the image of Eleanor's face is the last thing he sees in his mind. Their love is tested in unimaginable ways. Eleanor's family pressures her to marry a respectable Union officer, a man who shares their values. She refuses, holding on to the promise she made to James, a promise that seems more and more like a foolish dream as the war drags on. James, meanwhile, sees the Confederate cause begin to crumble. He is torn between his duty to his fellow soldiers and his yearning for a life of peace with Eleanor. Finally, in the spring of 1865, the war ends. The Union is preserved, but the nation is scarred and broken. For Eleanor, the news brings a wave of relief, but also a surge of anxiety. Is James alive? Will he keep his promise? She waits, her heart a tangled mess of hope and fear. Weeks pass, then months. Soldiers are returning home, but there is no word from James. Eleanor begins to despair, fearing the worst. Her family urges her to move on, to accept that her Confederate soldier is gone forever. But she refuses to give up hope. One evening, as the sun sets, a lone figure walks up the long road to her family's home. He is thin, weary, and his worn clothes are a patchwork of gray and civilian brown. But as he gets closer, Eleanor recognizes him. It's James. He is alive. He has come back for her. He kept his promise. He walked hundreds of miles from Virginia, through a defeated and desolate South, all the way back to her. Their reunion is not one of triumphant joy, but of quiet, profound relief. They hold each other, the years of separation, fear, and uncertainty washing away. They have survived. Their love has survived. Their journey is far from over. They have to rebuild their lives in a country still grappling with the wounds of war. They face prejudice and suspicion from both sides. Some of Eleanor's neighbors see her as a traitor for loving a former enemy. Some of James's old comrades view him as a man who abandoned his cause for a Yankee woman. But they face it all together. Their love story becomes a quiet symbol of reconciliation. It's a testament to the idea that beneath the uniforms, beneath the flags and the politics, we are all just human. Their love, born in the midst of division, becomes a bridge between two warring sides. It proves that even in the darkest of times, love can endure, it can heal, and it can build a new future from the ashes of the old. Their story reminds us that the most powerful force in the world isn't hatred or division, but the simple, unbreakable connection between the hearts. Thank you for watching. If you were moved by this story of love against all odds, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from history. Let us know in the comments what you think. Could you have made the same choices as Eleanor and James? We'll see you in the next video.